up, guys? I'm going to work a specific back take today that I love to try to stick to every chance I get. And it's going to be following a rule of thumb here, right? When I give myself rules, it gives me somewhere to stick to in the chaos. Guys are such good scramblers now. If I try to remember specific techniques in a crazy scramble, I can find myself falling behind. So our rule of thumb is going to be bottom hook first when taking the back. Now, of course, we can veer from this as we get better and better, but in the chaos, it gives me somewhere to land and stick to where I can kind of find home base. So as I'm here with my partner, we're going to start out parallel. We're hip to hip. Now, I never want to throw my seatbelt too early, especially on this angle. If I do that, it gives him a chance to shear his inside elbow back. It becomes an underhook, and he can wrestle that pretty well. So I want to make sure, for starters, I'm going to keep my hands in a number of places behind his armpits. Right? We can go behind the armpits. We can go in the thighs. We can go spiral ride. There's a number of things. For right now, we're going to talk about just getting a gap between his elbow and his knee so I can bring my outside knee in and change my angle from parallel to perpendicular. So I want to go from facing his head to facing his butt and his heels. I drive my elbows in. I'm going to open them up, and I can use my far side hand in his thigh to do that. Here. My outside knee is going to close in that gap, and now I start to face toward his butt and his heels. At this point, I feel comfortable draping my near side arm over his shoulder for a seatbelt to block that elbow from shearing back in. My whole goal from here is going to be to expose his heels. I want to take a step with my outside leg, but I don't want to run into his butt. So I want to drive his weight forward. Now I'm going to step nice and deep toward his knee so I don't miss. If I step low toward his heels, he can hide it. I step deep, but I slide my foot shallow toward the lowest point of his ankle. So we go ankle bone to ankle bone, or my Achilles to his ankle bone. I want to keep my leg bent 90 degrees. I don't want to scoop up and hook with my leg. I want to hook with just my foot. As I'm here, I'm going to fall to the near side as I pull his foot outside his hip to create torque, and I'm going to sag to that same side. Remember, our rule is bottom hook first. Whatever side I fall to, I have to stay on that side. I'm going to drive that elbow, pull that leg out. My bottom hook is going to kick and re-chamber so he can't float his hips away. And now my last step is going to be to get height. If his hips are on top of mine or higher up, he can scoot to the other side, and now I've broken my own rule with my top hook. To prevent that, I'm going to post my top leg, and it's an old school shrimp or hip escape. I post, I scoot, I make that hole for him to fall into, and now I can configure my legs in a number of ways, depending on what we prefer and what the rule set is. Obviously, if it's IBJJF, I need 2 hooks for points. If it's not, I can configure any which way I like. I can hook one in, one out. I can go body triangle. The choice is yours. For our new practitioners, remember, we never want to cross our ankles. One more time here. We're going to change the angle so you can see the feet. As I get in here, I open him up. My outside knee comes in. Now I can drape the arm over the shoulder. I hike him forward. Remember, I want to step deep so he can't hide his ankles from me. Step, but then I slide. We're going to stay with my foot to the floor with my leg bent 90 degrees. I don't want to hook here where now he can roll and put me in a leg entanglement. I want to stay up and put torque on that hip. I sag to the side. Bottom hook first. I'm going to kick and re-chamber it. Now to protect him from scooting to the far side, I post, scoot, and now I have the beginnings of my back take. I can throw my hook in, block behind, I can start attacking. Some more grip, and remember one of my favorite things about this, if we're thinking of it as an old school back ride, I have him in the closed side where I can start walking that choke up. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, that's one of a series where we're following the bottom hook first rule. But as we get better and better, of course, we know the rules, we can break them. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think in the comments.